Hello everyone, welcome to Group 5's presentation. Our groups have 6 members, Giang, Bing, Nhan, Diệp, Chi, Nga. We are going to talk about a really famous M&A deal between VINAMILK and GTNFOODS. Hope you will enjoy our presentation.
Let's get into the first part of our presentation, the introduction of the two companies. First off, let's talk about VINAMILK. VINAMILK is the largest dairy company in Vietnam. The company was established in 1976 as the state-owned Southern Coffee Dairy Company to nationalize and take over the operation of 3 previous private dairy factories in South Vietnam, Thống Nhất, Trường Thọ, and Đài Lạt. The principal activities of VINAMILK are to produce and distribute condensed milk, powdered milk, fresh milk, soya milk, yogurt, ice cream, cheese, fruit juice, coffee, and other products derived from milk. VINAMILK products such as powdered milk and condensed milk are also exported to the Middle East, Cambodia, the Philippines, and Australia. Some of the VINAMILK most outstanding achievements are Top 10 Vietnamese high-quality products from 1995 to present Association of Vietnamese High-Quality Products, Most Favorite Green Enterprise Green Products voted by consumers in 2013, and in 2010, VINAMILK was the first company in Vietnam to be included in the Forbes Asia's 200 Best Under a Billion list that highlights 200 top-performing small and mid-sized company with annual revenue under $1 billion. VINAMILK major brands include VINAMILK itself, Đài Lạt, V-Fresh, and Encore Milk. Moving on to GTNFOODS. GTNFOODS Joint Stock Company, previously known as Thống Nhất Production and Investment Joint Stock Company, was established in 2011 through the consolidation of various businesses operating in different sectors. In 2015, GTN redefined its business strategy to focus on consumers and agriculture sectors through acquisition of SOEs, which possess large amount of agricultural lands and plantation as well as prestigious but underutilized brand names. After restructuring, GTNFOODS focused on tea products, dairy products, wines, beverages, and cashew exports. In 2017, the dairy segment made the largest revenue and profit contribution at 57% sales and over 90% profit. About GTN's outstanding achievement, it has to thank Mộc Châu Dairy Cattle Breeding Joint Stock Company for bringing many gold and silver medals as well as other awards for dairy products and milk. GTN's major brands include Vinamilk Tea, Mộc Châu Milk, and Lado Foods. We got to know a little bit about the two companies, but what about their circumstances? The next part will be covering a brief overview of the dairy industry. The dairy industry is a crucial part in the economy and the development of many communities, regions, and countries. And with the trend of globalization, the industry plays an important role in the food system, which leads to an increase in the scope and the level of global milk transaction. The world dairy industry is mainly concentrated in the developed countries such as USA, New Zealand, Australia, etc., and their products are usually exported to developing countries. In Asia, although Vietnam is a country that does not have a history of developing dairy cattle since milk production was only introduced to Vietnam in the 20th century, Vietnam is emerging as one of the countries with dynamic milk production and processing industries.
So now I will continue with the M&A deal between VINAMILK and GTNFOODS. To start, I will tell you the reason why this deal happened. About VINAMILK, their purpose was to increase milk market share, and they wanted to focus on the core business, which is liquid milk market. According to GTN's announcement, in the Vietnamese liquid milk market, Mộc Châu accounted for only 6% of the market share. However, in the north, Mộc Châu was only behind VINAMILK with 23%. As stated by General Director Michael Lin, VINAMILK still focuses on the car industry, especially prioritizing merging with the same industry, both at home and abroad. Thus, the public bid of VINAMILK had proved the M&A direction of Ms. Michael Lin. And if the acquisition of GTN was successful, the market share of VINAMILK's liquid milk industry could increase sharply to more than 60% in 2019. In addition, VINAMILK cooperated with GTN could increase domestic milk supply thanks to GTN's dairy herds as well as potential land bank to expand dairy farming. And finally, VINAMILK's purchase of GTN could make it impossible for competitors to acquire Mộc milk. About GTN, the purpose was to restructure and intensively invest on potential markets. If the restructuring was successful, GTN could have a compact, simple structure and obtain abundant cash, which helped the company to focus on intensive investment in strong industries like soft drinks, soy milk, trading tea, industrial food products, and consumer goods. It could be seen that the merger with VINAMILK is a premier for GTN to develop potential areas. And now we will move to the process of M&A deal. On May 31st, 2019, VINAMILK bought more than 90 million shares from GTN, raising the ownership rate to 38%. By the end of September 2019, VINAMILK poured 1,478 billion Vietnamese dong to own 40.53% of the company's equity of Mộc milk brand. As of November 6, 2019, VINAMILK owned nearly 108 million shares, and on December 19, 2019, VINAMILK officially raising the ownership rate to 75%, and after the transaction, VINAMILK owned 187.5 million shares and officially become the parent company of GTN. And now, my friend will tell you about the financial standing of the two companies before and after M&A deal.
Hello everyone, my name is Zhang and I will tell you about the financial standing of the two companies, VINAMILK and GTN, before and after M&A. By December 2019, VINAMILK hold about 75% of GNT capital. In 2019, VINAMILK stock price slightly increased 0.72% due to low profit increase. During the first 9 months of 2019, VINAMILK achieved 42,070 billion dong net sales and 8,318 billion dong net income. They increased 6.4% and 5.8% respectively compared to those of this time last year. However, this rate is lower than market expectation. Revenue from foreign countries in the first 9 months in 2019 increased 8.2% compared to that of this time last year. Although revenue increased, gross profit margin decreased from 21.1% in the first quarter, which is before M&A, to 18.8% in the third quarter. Interest expense in the third quarter in 2019 is 28 billion dong, which increased dramatically 132% compared to that of last year due to short-term liabilities increased. Because VINAMILK spends 1,800 billion dongs to hold 75% of GNT capital, the short-term liability increased from 700 billion during the first month to 4,188 billion dongs. Now let's move to VINAMILK's stock market. As you can see from the table, the share value of VINAMILK didn't change too much during 2019. There is a peak in March 2019. It is the starting point of M&A. Both price and volume increased, which shows that a lot of traders were attracted to VINAMILK share. In stock market, VINAMILK shares had the price of 117,550 dong per share on 2nd of January 2019, and in 31st December 2019, the price slightly decreased to 116,500 dong per share. In 2000, the share value increased in the first 2 months about 120,000 dong per share, but then later it decreased after that. Maybe it's because of disease or the change in the market. However, from the March of 2000, you can see the price is starting to recover. Well, what can we say about VINAMILK after M&A? Overall, in stock market, after M&A, the cost per share of VINAMILK increased slightly and kind of stable. However, toward the end of 2019 and beginning of 2020, the price decreased significantly. However, the price seems to increase recently.
My name is Ngar, and to continue, I will show you what did both companies do after mergers and acquisitions. So let's start with VINAMILK. So VINAMILK has increased its ownership in GTNFoods to 95.8 million shares from nearly 5.8 million shares, or we can say that it's 2.32% of GTNFoods capitals. Now you can see more details in the slide. What did VINAMILK do in this time? According to VINAMILK CEO Michael Lien, the acquisition deal would make the firm a top business that would not be broken down by domestic or foreign competitors. VINAMILK has announced that it has officially become the parent company of GTNFoods after finishing the purchase of 79.5 million GTN shares to raise its holding to 75%. After the transaction, VINAMILK will own 51% in MokchoMilk, the subsidiary of GTNFoods. The purchase was implemented 2 days after the shareholder of GTNFoods approved the plan to hand over shares via a private placement. How about GTNFoods? GTN's share price increased by 84.5% in 2019 thanks to the acquisition of VINAMILK. So, now, 4 out of 5 candidates in administrative council of GTNFoods is from VINAMILK. GTNFoods joins the company, who has recently replied annual document of annual conventions, which nominating from member of administrative council and supervisory board tenure 2020 to 2024. Therefore, if the restructuring is successful, GTNFoods will only directly own the only subsidiary, Vietnam Livestock Corporation, VSC, Vilico. This unit owns 51% of Mokcho Dairy Count joint stock company. This situation, two companies designed to cooperating to go further. According to Bùi Thị Hương, managing director of VINAMILK, the company prefer thinking of the deal as joining the cooperation of MokchoMilk deeper. Instead of an acquisition, the two parties will cooperate to develop. The competition is essential for enterprise to grow because it will create motivation for enterprise. However, it needs to be fair. VINAMILK always strives to expand the number of its member companies, but transparency is first. The increased interest in MokchoMilk will help us to seize mutually beneficial opportunities. MokchoMilk has ample land banks and an extensive farm system that will benefit from VINAMILK's management system and enterprise resource planning software.
Based on the news being constantly updated by VTV, we can make some prediction about the outlook of the dairy industry in Vietnam.
Still, it is hard to know for sure whether the domestic demand will increase or decrease. We know from previous pandemic like SARS in 2003 that travel will decline sharply in affected areas. Overall consumption in those areas will be down, but the people who aren't traveling will still need to eat wherever they are. People tend to cook and eat at home in this period. Due to the closure of restaurants all over the country, domestic demand for dairy is likely to be reduced. However, the decrease is not too large and we can see a bright future of this industry. Milk collections are reported to be continuing as normal, with processors providing updated guidelines to ensure the safety of both the tanker drivers and farmers. Retail demand remains the same for fresh milk and key dairy products such as butter and dairy spreads. Although everything seems to be fine, the biggest concern for those manufacturers supplying into the retail or industrial markets is continuity of supply. Any widespread need for self-isolation from staff could have serious implications. It could seriously affect a processing line's ability to process milk. Transport networks between farm, factory, and retailer could also be disrupted without access to skilled drivers. Another concern is that due to the delays in shipments of import and export activities caused by the coronavirus outbreak, there are challenges for suppliers and traders to produce, distribute, and stock goods. It's more likely to result in an uplift in price, which might demotivate consumer spending during the fight against the COVID-19. This information is the last thing we want to share about our topic. Hope you enjoy our video. Thank you for listening.